We start in Ethiopia, where the war in Tigray region, rather than diminishing after calls for a ceasefire last month, appears to be intensifying. It is now expanding to other areas, including Afar State in the northeast. TPLF leaders have said they will keep fighting until they regain control of disputed territory in the south and west of Tigray, and this includes in neighbouring Amhara state, where they said they'll pursue the enemy. While the government, meanwhile, has accused the Tigrayan rebels of attacking civilians and blocking aid, and the Tigrayan People's Liberation Front denied this, saying they're targeting government-aligned militias in the region. Our correspondent, Kalkidan Yubelta, is in Addis Ababa.
We're hearing from both sides that they have been fighting, particularly over the weekend, along the Tigray and Afar borders. So that's an indication that this conflict, as you said, is expanding to yet another region. Earlier, there were reported fighting and other reported fighting between the Amhara and the Tigray regions, and now the latest incident indicates that Afar region is also involved.
A couple of weeks ago, representatives of the TPLF had said that they were justifying moving to Amhara region, saying that they were pursuing enemies there and also into neighbouring Eritrea. Why would they be going into Afar states? Has there been any statement from the TPLF?
Yes, a senior TPLF spokesperson told the news agency AFP that they carried out what he called a very limited offensive against some of the military and some of the supporting government-aligned militia there. He said that their aim was to weaken the enemy. That's what he said. And we understand that there is an ongoing mobilization around Afar, where quite a number of regional forces are gathered there. So it seems that the next front line could be Afar, that region in the northeastern Ethiopia. And that's really the good news, particularly from the point of view of delivery of humanitarian assistance, because almost all the roads leading to Tigray have been closed due to the ongoing fighting, and aid agencies have been relying on the ways through Afar to reach to hundreds of thousands of people in need of humanitarian assistance in Tigray. The government indeed accused the TPLF of blocking aid by launching those offensives.
However, in response to the government accusing the Tigrayan rebels of blocking aid and even of attacking civilians, the TPLF said that they're only targeting government-aligned militias. What proof is being proffered by either side?
Both sides are not presenting tangible evidence to show their claims, and like it has always been in this 8 months-long conflict, it's been difficult to independently verify things that have been saying, the claims and the counterclaims. But we understand that the World Food Programme have said that their movement is highly impacted and they're finding it difficult to travel from Afar to Tigray. Certainly, we're seeing the impact of this renewed conflict in the Afar region, and this is a worrying sign for everybody that's concerned about the fate of civilians who have been paying heavy price in the past few months.
And explain to our listeners, if you may, Kalkidan, in the past when the TPLF was in the ascendancy, were there disagreements with those in Amhara region and those in Afar, as well as in Oromo? I ask this because it now seems to be as if everybody is regarded as an enemy of the TPLF. Did they not have allies in other regions?
The conflicts and the disputes between Amhara and Tigray are decades long, since the coming to power of the EPRDF led by the TPLF in the early 1990s. Their bordering areas have been contested and there have been disputes for close to 3 decades. But as you know, the TPLF was the main dominant power in Ethiopia for 3 decades. It seems that there have been building up of resentments in many areas. So the government seems to be now tapping into those resentments to mobilize support against the TPLF. And that seems to be what we're seeing right now.